Hey guys, this is Jason Creel and this is the Lawn Care Life. You know, I don't know why, but for some reason, a light bulb goes off in my head and it's like, why didn't I think of this before? And so I just had a thought today and I want to actually take action on this this year and make some changes to the type of customer that I'm going after next year in my lawn care business. Stay tuned. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by Jobber. Go check out Jobber software and go check out Jobber Academy. I've got the links in the description. Jobber Academy is a great resource where they provide articles, videos, things like that to help you grow your lawn care business. For whatever reason, you know, I'm sitting here thinking about customers and which yards do I like to do, which yards do I not like to do, and which yards are more profitable and which yards are not more profitable. And I've been telling people this for years, and for whatever reason I don't listen to my own advice. And so here's one change I'm wanting to make effective immediately, and that is I want to focus more time on acquiring smaller properties. Okay, you say, well, why smaller properties? Well, I think, you know, I'm doing a lot of weed control and fertilization, but I think this applies to mowing as well. I've always felt like the smaller properties were more profitable, okay? They just are. I mean, I understand there's some advantages of a big property. For instance, let's say if you're cutting grass and you get some big property, well then you're not, you know, your labor's not riding around in the truck with you. You can all be at the same spot, everybody staying busy and that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm not saying that big properties are bad, but from a weed control and fertilization standpoint, we tend to price things based on the square footage, and as the property gets bigger, the price per square foot gets smaller. Okay, so on a small property, on a garden home, I might get $15 per 1,000 square feet. Well, on a really big yard, I might be down to $5 per 1,000 square feet. And the cost of the chemicals or the fertilizer or whatever you're using is the same. Okay, so I'm now again, same principle applies. I'm there. I don't have to drive. You know, if it's a big property, I can cover all of it at the same time. You know, if you got small properties and they're spaced out. So I'm not saying that big properties are bad. But when I was sitting there working on a couple of big properties today, the numbers were just going through my mind. And I was thinking, you know what, for the amount of time I spent on this property, the amount of product I'm using, the cost of that product, I'm not making the profit I should as I would on a small property. And I think the same goes with mowing. I mean, you know, if you were able to really target some neighborhoods that had a lot of small, medium-sized lawns in it and really stack up the lawns where you could go and you know, hopefully eventually get 20 25 yards in the same neighborhood, yeah, then you become so much more efficient and you're able to really knock out these properties, and it cuts down on your drive time. And on these small properties, you know, you're thinking, well, you know what, these customers don't mind paying $40 or $45 for a small yard. But when you go to a big property, you feel like, you know what, I need to charge them $100 to make my hourly rate close to what it is on that small property, and people don't want to pay $100 sometimes, you know. So to me, I think that's just a change I'm looking to make effective immediately. Is not take on the big properties. I'm going to take on the big properties, but one, I might need to adjust my pricing on any property over 5,000 square feet to go up a little bit, not on my past customers, but probably on the new ones, you know, to make sure that I'm getting those at a price that is good for my business. And you know what, if I don't get it, then it's okay. But you know, I'd rather not get it than get it at a price that's not profitable. But at the same time, I want to focus my marketing. If I'm going to do a direct mail campaign, a door hanger campaign, if I want to go knock on doors, whatever I'm looking to do, I want to focus it on these neighborhoods where I can hopefully really start to stack the yards up in neighborhoods that have a lot of small yards, because at the end of the day, those are the most profitable. And if I get a lot of them in the same neighborhood, I'm going to really have some profitable days, you know, as compared to having some of these bigger properties that, yeah, the bill on the door is a little bit more, but when you factor in the amount of time that it takes you to do those larger properties, to me, it's just not as good. So one more point on the big properties. You know, if, let's just say from a mowing standpoint, it gets really thick and you might have to go over the lawn 2 times, and I hate doing that, but sometimes it happens. You know, we get that Bermuda grass here in the south, it gets so thick you might have to go over it twice. On a small yard, it's not a big deal. Big yard, it's a big deal. I hate that, okay? It takes too much time. Same thing from a weed control standpoint. If you got a small yard and it's got, you know, a lot of problems, weeds, you can take your time and fix the yard. If you're going to do that on a big yard, you can do that, okay? But again, it's a big yard. If you've got to use expensive products to get rid of hard to control weeds, or if it's a big yard that has a lot of weeds, you know what I'm saying? It's just the time that it takes on a larger property, to me, makes them where they're not as profitable. So, lesson of the day, my advice: don't not take on the big properties. Let me clarify by saying, if you're set up and you've got 60-inch mowers and a big crew and you want to focus on apartment complexes, that's totally fine. I'm not saying don't do that, and you can, believe me, people make a ton of money doing that. And so I'm just saying, like a large residential property, if you'll calculate, you know, what you're making per hour labor compared to what you're making on a small yard from a mowing standpoint, and from a weed control standpoint, you calculate how much your actual product cost is plus your time compared to a small one. You know, in my opinion, I've not been pricing it in a way that made the big properties worth it, and I need to make that adjustment. So hope this helps. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, check out these suggested videos, and leave comments below. Do you agree? Or what's been profitable for your business? Are the small properties more profitable, or have you found a way to make the big properties profitable for you? So again, there's more than one way to be successful in the lawn business. I'm just sharing with you from my experience and the things that I learned and the changes I make. Hopefully it'll help you. Thanks a lot.